Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use the Kreg Pocket Hole drilling accessory here, this jig. And it works perfect for what I'm building. Right now I'm working on a planer sander cabinet combination. And I have some webbing inside that will get screwed together like this. The joint will be together like that. And pocket holes are perfect for this type of work. Now, on a pocket hole, when you have this type of joint, you don't want to put the joint coming into the end grain, even though this plywood doesn't make that much difference. But if this was regular wood, you would not want the drilling to be done this way. You always want it to come from the end grain into the side grain of the wood. Now again, plywood is a little bit different because we have grains going all different ways, but it's still a good habit and good form to always do that. So if you ever use this for face frames, you have the drills, the holes going in the correct direction. So with that said, the first thing you have to do is set up this jig. Now this can be pulled out here. This particular height jig here, this is your guide for your drill bits, and this allows the drill bits to go in at an angle. So you can see that the drill, whoops, I should put that on first. The drill goes in at an angle into the wood, and this is what gives you your pocket holes. Now, on the side we have different dimensions, and you set it to the depth that you want, so the type of wood that you're working with. So, although it's not officially 3/4, like a 64th below or 32nd below, I am going to set it at 3/4 of an inch. So inside here, I'm going to line it up with my measuring mark at 3/4, and lock that in so that these are set. Now the other thing that we have to do is you saw how that just like fell through. So we have to put a stop collar on this drill bit here to the proper depth, so that way this always goes down into the wood and makes the proper depth for our screws. So on the side here we have two different gauges that you can lay your drill bit in, and you can bring it and line it up with 3/4. Now right now I have this tip right here lined up with the 3/4 on my gauge here, and then I'm going to lock in my lock washer, or lock ring I should say, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight, because this is what's going to stop it. You can see now it's going to stop it so that it doesn't go completely through the wood, but it's going to give a nice depth, and that's going to stop these screws when they go in at the proper depth, so they don't pop out the front of your face frame or the webbing, the side webbing that I have for the carcass. So this is set now. I can put it inside my drill here, and the other thing you want to use is this has a dust collector that comes with it, and it snaps in the back here like this, and then you hook up your shop vac down. It takes different sizes, but this particular one fits perfect here, and it's generally set up for a shop vac size hose. So the nice thing about this is not only does it keep the chips from flying all over the place, but it actually clears out the holes from chips. So you don't have to bang them afterwards or worry about the chips getting everywhere. It does a really good job of dust collecting and chip collecting from the drill. So I'd recommend doing that. And here I'm going to clamp this board down. I'm just going to use just a quick clamp here, and of course it's the Harbor Freight one, which I just tried out and found out that they work really well. So we're going to use this to lock down this board pretty good. And let's see how tight we can get that. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. Now the other adjustment that we have is back here on this clamp, because when you put your piece of wood in, this clamps the wood in place, and you just want to make sure that it locks it in pretty good. It doesn't have to be super tight, but this one is just about perfect. And of course it was set up for 3/4 in the beginning, so it's just perfect for that. So now we can start drilling out and making our cuts. So all I have to do is, I have two holes here. I have an A and a C. I have A, B, and C. B is about the middle. So A and C are perfect for this 3-inch wide piece that I'll put the holes at the proper spacing apart from each other, and it will give me two holes so that I can have two screws going in to put them together. So I'm going to turn on my vacuum now. It's going to be kind of loud. And as you can see, that does a pretty good job. I mean, there's a little bit, let's see. Yeah, there's very little of the dust left, and it you know, pulled all of that out of there, all the dust out of there. So it makes a nice clean cut. I have a little bit of edges here, which we'll clean up later on. But you see that it's made this hole. It didn't come out completely through here. So once I put the screw in, that's going to pop it out at the end there and lock this in together. And this is exactly what pocket hole screws are made for, is to join two surfaces like this. You can also join in this direction too. And again, there's some, you know, if you were going to join them, I would say at the top there, drilling into as much of the wood as you can. Always have the screws going into as much of the wood as you can, and always have the screws emanating from the end grain into the side grain of frames like this. So quite simply, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to drill out the rest of these. The only other thing I think I can tell you about is that the screws do come in two different types. This is 1 1/4 inch, which is what you use for 3/4 inch. But we have a soft plywood one, which is a coarse thread, and then we have a hardwood, which is a fine thread. And that's really the only difference between the two screws, is that one is a fine thread, one is a coarse thread. Can you use them, you know, can you use fine on plywood, can you use coarse on hardwood? Yeah, you can, but you're better off using fine on hardwood, less chance of it splitting. Coarse on plywood, because plywood is not quite as dense, and it's going to allow it to grip on a little better. So that's the pocket hole jig. I'm going to go ahead and start working and get these all drilled out for my cabinet.